What is going on, Arizona sports fan family? How are we doing out here today on this beautiful Friday evening? We're here to talk some Arizona Cardinals and do our very first roundtable here. I'm very, very excited about this. Now, I did post a post in my community post here, trying to see if we can get some people on here. We're looking for a total of maybe 6 to 8 different subscribers to be on this show for about 45 minutes to an hour long. I have a list of questions. I want to make sure that we can go ahead and talk as a community. But basically, if you have the time, the link is pinned at the top of the chat. Now, there is some, things here. If you're under the age of 18, we do ask that maybe you skip this one because I don't want to have, because it's supposed to be like a back and forth type of thing. And I definitely don't want to put you in that position here. So if you're over the age of 18 and if you want to come on here and really, really, really let us know how you feel about this Arizona Cardinal team, whether it's with Kyler Murray, Cliff Kingsbury, Steve Keim, we're going to be diving into everything about that right now. So welcome in, everybody. Welcome to the YouTube community that's here right now. We are streaming live on Facebook as well as Twitter as well. If you guys are on other platforms like Facebook or Twitter, you most likely will have to come onto YouTube, search the AZ Sports Fan either on the search bar and click on the live stream coming through because the link is going to be pinned at the top of the chat on YouTube. Just FYI. So if you want to come through so we can start, this round table, we're going to basically have a very good time here. I do ask that you have your cameras on just to make sure that we do have people, age over 18 and over, or at least 16 and over. I just want to make sure that, the back and forth is going to be okay with you. We won't put you in an awkward position. Definitely, we don't want that. All right, let's get this going here. We are waiting for some subscribers coming through. I know I reached out to a lot of people on Instagram. We're waiting for them to come through as of right now. But big shout out to everybody that's currently in the chat right now. What's going on, everybody? We got Alex, we got Michael, we got Lonesome, we got Edward. What's up, Edward? We got DXNES and Broadcasts. Lennon in the house. Edward, what's up, everybody? How's everybody doing out here today on this beautiful Friday? I'm excited. I'm definitely excited about here. Obviously, right now we're sitting on Friday. We got 3 days away before the Cardinals take on the Rams on Monday Night Football, which we'll be talking about all that different stuff, man. We got multiple different topics that we're going to be diving here today. All right, so we got 2 people in the background right now. I got my guy Jordan P and I got my guy Bananas up in house right now. Let's give it about maybe 3 or 4 more people to come through right now. And then we will we'll get started. And like I said, it's going to be a roundtable forum. We'll give it about 5 minutes or so because I do know usually it takes people to come through. It takes a while before actually people push on that video. So let's do this. Let's read some comments right now. Let's see what you guys have to say in the comments. And then we'll go ahead and continue with the roundtable. I know I went ahead and reached out to some people on DMs on Instagram. They said they were a go, but of course, when live comes on, it definitely takes a bit. So let's read into the comments. What's up, Bass? What's going on, man? We got Morbius. What's up, dude? How's everybody doing? Lonesome says, bro, what 18 plus? What are you planning to do? These poor Cardinal fans. No, nothing like that, man. Nothing like that. It's just when it comes down to a roundtable settings, we definitely don't want, the back and forth to be on anybody that's over the age of or under the age of 18 in that situation. We're not doing anything crazy or anything like that. It's just to avoid the back and forth type of stuff. What's going on, Michael? Yeah, we're doing good, man. Alex, what's up, Alex? We are good, Jen and I. Awesome. We got Gravity says Kirk is gonna come through with the clutch catch. Watch. Awesome. We got B Red, C Red. You should let the Rams fans in to see what they think. Yeah, I'm down with that too. I mean, it doesn't have to be all Cardinal fans, but we could talk about Rams as well. We could talk about Cardinals versus Rams. That's absolutely fine as well. Yeah, man. Well, we're gonna leave it up. We're gonna leave it up in the air right now. All right, let me get some things situated here on my end. Let's bring in these subs here. Let's bring in some subs in right now. All right, give me 1 second here. Just FYI, it is linked at the top of the chat here. If you do want to come through, just click on the link. It's going to take you to a website called StreamYard. If you are on Twitter, if you are on Instagram, not Instagram. If you are on Facebook, anything besides YouTube, make sure you come through YouTube because the link is pinned at the top if you want to participate. If you just want to watch, cool. No worries. Bass, what's up, Bass? Come through, man. If you want to come through, come onto this roundtable, man, just click on that link. Let's just bring the people we have on right now, and I'm assuming, I promise you, in like 5 minutes, there's going to be like 5 people clicking on that link. So let's bring Jordan P, and let's bring Bananas up in here right now. Let's get this going. Awesome. Jordan P, Bananas in the house. Let me get everything situated here on my end. What's up, everybody? So as of right now, small round table, but I promise you in 5 minutes, once people realize that there's a live going on at AZ Sports Fan, people just they like to click on everything because last time we had a lot of people trying to come onto the stream. So just want to go ahead and give some big shout outs here. Jordan P, man, what's up? How's your Friday going? I think you might be a mute. Nah, can't hear you. Let's go with bananas. Bananas. Can you hear?
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh, okay, cool. There you are. Yeah, so maybe try coming back in, Jordan. Okay. What's up, bananas, man? How's your day going?
Pretty good. I saw Scream last night.
Yeah. Sorry, you saw Scream? How was that?
It's the best one since the original in my mind.
That's good. That's good to know. That's good to know. Awesome, brother. Let's see if we Jordan P. Can we get some audio?
Hello?
Jordan P. There we go. Like an angel. Perfect. Awesome. Well, Jordan P, man, how's your Friday going?
Oh, yeah. I said my Friday's going good. I can't complain.
Sweet. Awesome. So right now we got 38 people right now. We're going to be starting the roundtable. So how we're going to go ahead and have this basically situated. I got some questions. We're going to talk about it. And if you guys do want to join in, the link is pinned at the top. I do ask that everybody's over the age of 18, just so we can kind of have that back and forth and we don't have to worry about yelling at a, 9-year-old. Or not yelling, but kind of, talking back at a 9-year-old. So make sure you click on the link if you want to come through. These questions are going to basically be about the fans. I want to hear about what you guys have to say and everything like that. So let's get started, guys. I'm assuming we're going to get more people in about 3 or 4 minutes. All right, let's get started here. Let's start off with an easy one. A super easy question that I got for you guys right now. And I will give you the question. If you guys need some time to think about it, no worries. I got some comments I want to answer on the comments here. But let's start off easy. What is one play this year that sticks in your head that it was like, dang, that right there was an amazing play? If you guys already have an answer or you want to go ahead and say it, go ahead and just say it out.
All right, I'll go first.
All right.
The one that sticks out to me off the bat from this year is the play against Minnesota, where TJ Humphries or whoever, I believe was the left tackle at the time, completely missed their block. The guy's running straight at Kyler. He just spins out, throws a bomb on the run to Rondale Moore. Biggest play of I think that was the biggest play of the season. And that turned the game around towards halftime because we were losing, and that play kind of they were talking about it. The announcers were like, now they're gonna have to go all the way down the field to keep the game, going. And then out of nowhere, boom, one play, and it just showed, how valuable a quarterback like Kyler Murray is, because if that's Tom Brady, he's getting sacked, and so I feel like that's the one that just came in my head.
Perfect. What about you, Bananas? What you got? Near you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, got you.
Yeah, that play to Rondale Moore was electric. I agree with him.
Perfect. Awesome. I got some more people coming through right now. We got Christopher in the background. I'm going to bring Christopher in right now. And like I said, we're starting with the easy questions right now. So what's up, Christopher, man? How's your Friday going?
Just fine.
Good. Awesome. Welcome to the roundtable. We're just basically opening it up for the Cardinal fans right now to kind of really figure out what you guys feel about the Cardinals team, where we are at in the situation. I have some questions to ask about, but we're starting off easy. What's one play that sticks out in your mind that happened this year that I'm like, dang, that was a fantastic play?
Nothing really sticks out that much because, I didn't really get a chance to watch most of the games. And when I did, I was listening to them in the background while playing Minecraft on my computer. Because that's what I do with a lot of sports highlights. And that's why a lot of the games I put on the playlist tend to be high scoring ones, especially when the home team wins. So I get to hear a lot of like PA announcers, goal horns in hockey and things like that.
Gotcha. Oh, that's right. You're in Portland. Oregon. Okay. Yeah. Oregon. Yes, that's right. That makes sense.
It sounds like you're about to say Portland, and I am planning to move to Portland at some point. Right now, I'm just kind of stuck in the capital. So, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. I was just being a wizard. Okay. Awesome. Yep. Appreciate you. Okay, perfect. Let's see if we can get some more people on here right now. We already got 63 people already doubled. So letting you guys know right now, this is the Cardinal Roundtable right now. We're just starting off easy. We want people to come through right now. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Now, I'm starting off with some simple questions, but once we kind of get down to the nitty gritty, I want to hear what everybody has to say, whether you're a fan that watched every single game or you're a fan that just, watches one or, highlights. It doesn't matter. I want everybody in. Lagoon Road. Lagoon, you're in. What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Just caught myself a little bit of time, so I just wanted to say that if there's going to be another roundtable, man, I definitely want to be in on that. I'm off on Monday. I got to work again on Tuesday, but I'll be off again on Wednesday, so I don't know when you're going to do the game after show. But I'd like to chime in a little bit more on that. And usually when I'm listening to this and I'm on the road, I have a lot more comments. And every time you put me on, I just go dead, man. Like, I'm like, that's not what I meant to say. That's, I missed this, I missed that. I'm like, and then I'm listening to 98.7. I got, it used to be Doug and Wolf, and then I had to go back search, and I'm like, what the hell happened to Doug, and now it's like Luke and Wolf, I think.
Yeah, I don't really watch it. I don't really hear them very much. Are you able to stay for the 40 minutes at least, or you think you're gonna jet out? You said, right?
Well, I got about 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. But at the same time, I got a good feeling we got a good chance to take this game. I think San Fran's gonna beat the Cowboys, and hopefully we're facing the Bucks, and hopefully the Bucks versus the Eagles. Eagles give them a hard time, and we kind of face a battle-torn Bucks team. I mean, they're already kind of beat down anyway. So
I hear you, man. All right, appreciate you. Give me 1 second, Lagoon here. I'm gonna say hello real quick to Andrew. Andrew, what's up, man?
Hey, how's it going? It's been a while.
Good, man. Good. Hey, man. So what we're gonna do? We already have 5 people already right now. We're gonna start off this roundtable right now. Let me big shout out right now to my guy Edward Cruz. Feed Zach Ertz 110%, 110%. So we're gonna start this. The link is still there, guys. If you guys want to come through and be a part of this roundtable, come through. All I ask is that you're over the age of 18 or maybe 16, because to kind of avoid the back and forth, I don't want to, 10-year-old to, or parents to yell at me later on. So just make sure you're age of 18 so we can kind of get this going. But let's get started. Now let's get into the deep questions here. Here we go. Steve Keim. Now, this is not going to be anything like, I know, I already seeing everybody's faces right now. Steve Keim, the GM. How do you really feel about Steve Keim, the GM, as of right now? Now, we had him since 2013. 2013. Who wants to start off first? Just unmute yourself and we'll go from there. No thoughts for Christopher. Okay.
Well, as my reactions just show, I don't know, because I don't pay that much. I think my bigger problem is I don't pay attention to college football, so I don't really know what prospects are good unless it's something that's like talked about all over the internet, like Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, and things like that. And then, of course, just this past year, I watched the bits and pieces of the Dumpster Fire draft live stream. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. And then one thing I don't know if this is true, but I think going into that draft, our 2 big weaknesses were defense and offensive line. And I thought offensive line was kind of the bigger of the two, because we had just signed J.J. Watt, and if he played well, which as far as I know he has for when he's been on, then defense wouldn't be as big of a weakness then. And so I was kind of just hoping for linemen, but then when we drafted Zaven Collins, I'm like, all right, it's defense. It's not the worst pick in the world, even if it's not what we needed. Right. And then, I didn't really pay that much attention to the rest of the draft because the second round just isn't as interesting, especially since most of what I watch the Dumpster Fire live streams for is for the reactions to negative things from 5 points and urinating tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. I got my next guy here, Red Sea here. Not the Red Sea that Jordan Puck, not that Red Sea, a different Red Sea. Hey, Red Sea, man, what's up, dude? Welcome in. Appreciate you for being here.
It's gonna pause it.
Hey, so we're gonna just to kind of give you a little, a brief overview. We're gonna have you guys on for about 40 minutes to 50 minutes, just kind of talk back and forth. Right now, we're on the topic of Steve Keim. Christopher just went. I appreciate you, Christopher, for being the first. How do you feel about Steve Keim as of right now? Like him, meh, or get rid of him? How are you feeling about him?
Honestly, there's two options here. Steve Keim, the guy that makes the great trades, or Steve Keim that makes the draft picks. Because honestly, you gotta remember, drafting, not the greatest, but without him, we don't get Hopkins. Without him, we don't get. But we might not. There's other ones. What do we do this year? We don't get Zach Ertz.
JJ
And also
Watt.
free agency too. He brought in JJ Watt. He brought in all these other guys. The problem right now is not really Steve Keim. It's more Cliff Kingsbury.
Oh, we'll dive into him as well. We'll dive into him as well. I promise you. Okay, before you jump on that, anybody else? Ross, you got any? Or Andrew, you got anything? Steve Keim.
Not much. I mean, I think it'd be nice to have him around at least so that we can have decent, for those trades, because you never know who we could trade for and who we may need to get rid of. I definitely think part of it could go to coaching. When we talk about Cliff, we can probably talk about that further, but I think Cliff needs to do a better job at his job second half of the season. That's all I'll say for now.
Okay, perfect. Mark in the house just joining us right now, man. You got any thoughts on Steve Keim? It seems like everybody's just trying to not step on eggshells is what I'm looking at.
I really like Steve. He does a really good job, in my opinion. He drafts poorly, but you know what? Hey, the drafts are prospects. Let's just put it that way. Yeah. So he goes out and gets the good veterans, and I really like that. So
okay. I'm not one of, because there's been a lot of over the past year or two that a lot of people are saying, fire Steve Keim, fire Steve Keim, fire Steve Keim. But when it boils down to it, look at all the guys he has brought here through the draft and free agency and trading. So you got Chandler Jones, Budda Baker, Chase Edmonds, Zach Ertz, Rodney Hudson, all these guys. Kyler Murray, he drafted him. And you could say his draft hasn't been always the greatest, but whose draft? What GM always hits on every pick? None of them, because they're all prospects at the end of the day, So he's not the greatest guy at drafting, but I feel like a problem with his drafts is the coaching, because look at Hassan Reddick. He drafted him. I'm pretty sure he wasn't the one that said put him to outside linebacker. We drafted him to be, a hybrid type of player, but to still rush the passer. And what did our defensive coach do? They just said, you're just going to be an inside linebacker. And, you can't fault Steve Keim for that, because he's not the one implementing the defensive scheme. So, he doesn't have the greatest drafts. And, Zaven doesn't look like a great pick right now because Vance doesn't play him. But, drafting is not a sure science. You could pick a guy at number 1 and he could flop. So, he brings major value trading-wise because, he's trading for guys that are bringing us great value for literally nothing. So, I mean, I don't think we should get rid of him now.
He traded Josh Rosen, so yeah. I mean, he got something out of him.
There you go. Bananas, what you got, man? I think you had something.
To agree with what somebody said, you get two Steve Keims. The Steve Keim that can do amazing trades, and the Steve Keim that has a 45% chance on having a good draft. Out of all the players, he's drafted 58 players, I believe it is, and he's hit on 9.5 of them. So
it's not a bad percentage.
Yeah, the players that I'm questionable on that are the ones that he hit. David Johnson. If we didn't have David Johnson, we wouldn't have DeAndre Hopkins.
There you go.
And if he drafted Kyler, he's a hit. Isaiah Simmons is looking to be amazing. You have Christian Kirk, who's a good slot guy, and I think Kirk's going to stay this year because I'm pretty sure AJ is going to retire. In the trades, we forgot about Dwight Freeney in 2015. He brought him in, Chris Johnson. He
Lot of people.
drafted one of the safeties in the NFL, Tyrann Mathieu, but he just couldn't stay healthy here. But we got his replacement in Buda Baker. If Steve Keim could just like continue to have good drafts and not have a good draft, a bad draft, a good draft, he'll be one of the best GMs in the league. But if he does leave, I'd rather get Adrian Wilson instead of letting him go to the Giants.
You know,
All right.
two things. One thing that I will discredit Kime on in a major way is that with the offensive line, he's never built an offensive line. Like this year, we thought, oh, this conference, and the offensive line has failed us once again. So I feel like that's one thing that he hasn't ever addressed. And two, Jalen Thompson, he literally got this guy out of the supplemental draft, and this guy's came in and is playing amazing ball for us. So I don't think people give him enough credit. To get a guy out of the supplemental draft that's coming in here and playing like the best defensive player this year. So you got to give him credit for like things like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And to agree with
The only
you
thing-
about the O-line, the O-line just can't stay healthy because they either
That's
have
what I was gonna
COVID or
say.
injuries.
Yeah. Definitely an unfortunate here. Now let's talk about Cliff. I know everybody was itching at the bit here. Now I think when we think about Cliff Kingsbury, we can talk about a lot of stuff. Obviously, the hot starts, the downfall of towards the end of the year. Let me guys ask you this question right here, and then you guys can kind of free for all about Cliff Kingsbury and however you feel. But if Cliff Kingsbury goes into this Monday Night Football game and gets completely obliterated, and it's a terrible game, should Cliff be on the hot seat? And I don't mean fired, but really like be in the hot seat. And I mean maybe next year if we get obliterated, or are you still thinking maybe a couple years from now, or what do you think is going on? Go ahead, start it up.
I would say so. I mean, we got to look at last year. Last season, we fell off the edge and we missed the playoffs. I mean, this year we started 7-0. And look at that. We're 11-6. Our offense has not looked the same since. If we go in this playoff game against the Rams, another thing is we've dominated every road game this year besides one. If we go in this road game and get pummeled after that fall, we're not going to fire him because we made the playoffs. But he's got to be on the hot seat. He's got to be a guy that we look at next year and say, you know what? Can you make the next jump? Or do we need to bring another guy in that can make the next jump? I'm still not sold on his play calling at all.
Mm-hmm.
He takes too many chances that cost us a lot of these games. We got to go in this game. Yes, Kyler's got to improve. He's got to play better. But I get nervous going to this game because he likes to get a little too creative with his play calling that bites us in the ass sometimes.
Right.
So if we go in this game, so we got to be not fired, but hot seat for sure.
Okay. Perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't. He should be. If he gets blown out, he needs to be on the hot seat. Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
But there's just no way that he can do his little pretty boy calls and plays, and I don't see us winning if he does that. So
Yeah. We need to go back to basics. We need to find out what's worked and just go with it. Even if
like I
it's
said
going
earlier, sorry to
Yeah.
cut you off.
Maybe
Like I said
establishing the
earlier.
run game. Oh, were you saying something, Mark?
Yeah, like I was saying earlier in the week, dink and dunk, run it up the middle. That's what we need to do. None of these handoffs to Rondale Moore, none of this other little pretty boy plays that he does. That's not going to win us a game. The dink and dunk and running the ball. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
You see, I agree to an extent with that, but the problem with Cliff is it's mostly timing. He's always calling these plays at the wrong time.
Yeah.
You can look at Sean McVay, for example. He's gotten to the Super Bowl and he's one of the top head coaches, and he does run these pretty boy type of plays, but he knows when to do it. Cliff will do it in the middle of a drive when Kyler's slicing up the defense, and then just calls a stupid wildcat to lose 5 yards. It's like you got to know when to call these plays. And to me, if we get blown out, I mean, I've already said what I think about Cliff, but so many times. But he has to be in the hot seat. And the one thing I would do, man, I would demote him to offensive coordinator and bring in Brian Flores from Miami. to be our head coach. It's not gonna happen, but that's just
Right.
something that I would do because Brian Flores, he just shown what he did with Tua as his quarterback.
Yeah.
They have no O-line. Their defense is good. It's better than ours, and they have worse defensive players. So Vance, I'm tired of Vance. I think putting Chandler Jones on Tyler Lockett on 3rd and 16. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
There's just a lot of things that it's head scratching to what they're doing. So if we get blown out, something's got to happen. Something's got to change. You can't just bring everybody back and expect that like they say, the definition of insanity is expecting a different outcome with the same results.
Ding, 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 ding. Perfect. Let's get to Lagoon and then Christopher, because I want to make sure that everybody, and then we'll go bananas after you. Can you hear me, Lagoon?
Oh shoot.
Let me see if I do this.
Okay. Am I on?
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Well, anyway, what I noticed on the last game is we were having like a lot of success running up the middle. And can you guys hear me?
Yep.
All right. Well, anyway, we're having a lot of success running up the middle.
There we go.
On those screen passes, what we were doing, like sweeping to the outside, I noticed that was getting stuffed like every single time. Even the short passes to the outside, right at the line of scrimmage, boom, it was like either almost intercept or it was stuffed even before it started. And that kind of seems frustrating when we're like making momentum and then we try to go get fancy. The other thing was just the execution part of it. If we just ran clean game, catching the ball, old AJ, if he could just hold on to the ball, that would have been big time. People getting mad at BJ about the defensive, what you call it, but if you really look at it, they were making contact behind the line of scrimmage or at the line of scrimmage. And so I don't think it's too much of VJ's fault for calling those plays because it could have been stuff behind the line of scrimmage or at the line of scrimmage. And it just kind of seems the execution wasn't there. And hopefully they can bring it against the Rams. Okay,
perfect. All right, Christopher, anything on you, man?
What else is there to say that hasn't already been said? He gets off to these hot starts, and we've seen it even in Texas Tech because somebody posted on Facebook that first 7 games and most of them only had 2 wins or something, 2 losses or something, and then the only one that was even remotely bad was in 2019 when he was one of the first seasons he was with us when Kyler first came in, and he had it was either 4-3 or 3-4. I don't remember if we had a winning or losing record at the end of those first 7 games, but that was not a great season for us, which is understandable because it was Kyler's rookie season. But yeah, and then the losses, he had this amazing winning record for all of his first 7 games with both Texas Tech and with the Cardinals. And then when you got to the rest of the season, the rest of the regular season, it was this giant losing record. That's how is this guy even in the playoffs? How does this guy have a job? So yeah.
Yeah. All right. Bananas, man. What you got?
Okay, so I like Cliff. And the fact that we're still paying Steve Wilkes kind of irritates me. But if he goes into Monday night and he doesn't let what he said that he wants to do, let Kyler be Kyler, something needs to change. Either the defensive coordinator needs to change, or they say, Cliff, you need an offensive coordinator, or we're going to let you go after this season. Because the goal for me was reach the playoffs. Now that we reached the playoffs, we got to take that next step. We got to win in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because if we lose to Tom Brady, it's whatever. It's Tom Brady.
Right.
If we lose to the Rams, that's going to be a hard pill to swallow. Because we all hate LA, right?
Thank you. That's exactly what I was going to say. And you really have to be in Arizona to really know that. You know what I mean? It's just, you know, the Dodgers, the Lakers, all those different teams, we just despise them because they always feel like they're always one up us. So I completely 100% agree with you there. What do you think of, and I'm pretty sure you guys saw the press conference of, Cliff Kingsbury saying that Kyler Murray is going to be, his best self this time around. Now, obviously, is that all smoke? Because obviously it's playoffs. He's trying to hype up his quarterback. What do you guys feel about that? Any comments?
I just hope he's telling the truth. That's all I know. If he means what he says, then
I feel like
terms of that-
Kyler's going to do
Go ahead.
good because he's been playing decent in LA, and whenever his phase boys are in LA and they're at the games, he pops off, and they have said that they're going to be there on Monday to support him. So hopefully he pops off, and with the injuries that the Rams are having right now, I know we have 3 players out on injury from today's injury report. 1 was Isaiah Simmons. 2 were Connor and Ward, but Simmons was on a personal day. So if we can get everybody healthy, and I don't see them announcing J.J. Watt until game time.
Oh, yeah.
that makes sense.
That gives LA no opportunity.
100%.
They're going to go in there thinking, oh, he's not going to play. And then, boom, 99 right in your face. Stafford was on the injury report, too, with turf toe.
Yeesh. Anything, Jordan P., before we move on to the next topic?
Yeah, in terms of what Cliff said, I feel like he's just stating the obvious because Kyler shows up. What about everybody else? That's what needs to happen. Is the O-line going to show up, or are they not going to show up?
Is AJ going to show up?
Are our receivers going to catch the ball, or they're just going to drop the ball? Are Chandler Jones going to be placed on Cooper Kupp? Like, all these things, all these factors. It's like, I know Kyler's going to show up, but is everyone else going to show up?
Yeah, 100%. Let's move on to the draft here. I know I had a draft party, and I had several of you guys on here right now, and the reactions to the very first round pick. I want to talk a little bit right now, being that we were with each other before the season, and now we're sitting right now at the end of the season. We're going into the postseason right now. But what are your thoughts right now on Zaven Collins? Now, obviously, I'm gonna give you some, talking points and stuff like that. But Zaven Collins, 16th overall. A lot of us wanted cornerback. A lot of us wanted a player that we were able to use the first year. Now, obviously, this is all not on Zaven Collins, why he's not getting playing time, obviously, right? But what are your thoughts as of right now for Zaven Collins? Would you, at this point right now, want to get somebody else because, more of a position of need? But let's just open it up right now and then kind of go from there.
No, I think it's too early. I think we need to see more of his production before we can really give a judgment, because if he hasn't been getting numbers, hasn't been getting time, I feel like it's a little unfair for Zaven because he hasn't had the experience to develop as an NFL corner. So I think we need to give him some more opportunities to really prove he's worthy of being an Arizona Cardinal.
I mean, last year we saw it last year with Isaiah Simmons. He didn't play very much, and we all thought maybe he was a bust. So it's more about, and one thing for him, it's different because he's playing the Mike linebacker position. So that's a lot of terminology he has to learn on that side of the ball. So honestly, for him sitting this season and learning from Jordan Hicks, I think it'll be the best thing for him going next year and forward for him.
And in terms of Zaven Collins, like I was saying before, Keim and the defensive coaches, they're never in sync because, he was speech before after we picked Zaven Collins, he was saying, there's no red shirting, you're going to play, blah, 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 and everybody was hype about that. But then we come into the season and, he wasn't playing. And I think that was because he expected Jordan Hicks to fold and say, you know what, you guys don't want me no more, I'm gone. But instead, Jordan Hicks said, you know what, they want to drop the kid over me, I'm going to show them, why I'm here, So, and in terms of the position itself, like Mike linebacker is one of the hardest positions to play. And when he was in college at Tulsa, he wasn't facing, D1 top level competition like Alabama, Georgia, these type of guys. And his role there at Tulsa was just to roam around. He didn't have a specific Mike linebacker role. So, in the NFL, and this is a win now season, So I feel like Vance, he doesn't want to risk it. But at the end of the day, to me, Jordan Hicks is playing so bad. Like, I get he has the experience, but like, what do we have to lose at this point? Jordan Hicks is playing so bad. Zaven can't be any worse.
That's
so,
yeah, 100%. 100%. Let me just welcome real quick. Alex, what's up, Alex? Appreciate you, man. And Joe, I see you down there. Joe Bags, I'm going to bring you in right now once we get into the Ram segment because I'm going to bring you in soon. So, Alex, real quick, Zaven Collins, your thoughts on Zaven Collins? Would you, at this point right now, at the end of the season, prefer somebody else to help us into this defense right now? Or are you, hey, Zaven Collins, we just have to wait it out? What's your thoughts?
I say let's wait it out for Zaven Collins. To be fair, I think all of us were kind of skeptical bringing him on board, considering that we already had a pretty solid middle linebacking crew, at least at the time. I feel it's still too early to tell. Give it time. I want to say maybe by his third year, maybe even halfway through his second year, if he's not producing any numbers, then we can consider him a bust. But really, he's shown some growth. He's shown some talent. I think we all can remember that very first preseason game against the Cowboys where he stopped the run on the very first play. I mean, I like the guy. I sincerely have nothing but high praise for the guy. I just wish we'd see him a little more. Maybe I don't know what the defensive team, why they're not playing him a whole lot. We got him in the first round. Why aren't we playing him enough? But it's one of those, just trust the systems kind of thing. So I say give him time. Let the rookie prove himself.
All right, perfect. Anybody else? Any thoughts before I bring in my guy Joe, Sheriff Joe? What's up, Bananas?
So for Zaven Collins, I think I was with you guys on that pick, and I was questioning it.
Yeah.
I'm like, why are we gonna get Zaven Collins when we're paying Jordan Hicks $15 million a year? But Zaven, he's young, and him and Isaiah, they could easily be the best linebacking core in the West, in the NFC for us. Zaven, if he becomes a bust, I say just trade him by the third year to a linebacking team. And if I would take anybody over him now, no, maybe Asante Samuels a couple of weeks ago when all my DBs were hurt. But I'm looking to the future. Zaven Collins and Isaiah Simmons, that's going to be a deadly duo. And we can address the CB need in the offseason. We can go get the Washington CB.
And a quick thing on Zaven, not necessarily Zaven himself, but what I want to do is I want to get Vance out of here and bring in Vic Fangio, who just got fired from Denver, because he's a linebacker specialist. He specializes in coaching linebackers. So you bring him in here with Simmons and Zaven, two huge trees that can move. I think that's sky's the limit for us.
If anybody could get Zaven and Isaiah to that next potential step, it is Vic. So I say let Vance go to New York or Jacksonville and say, hey, Vic, here's some money. Come over to Arizona.
Hey,
defense.
I like that.
I saw your face. Do you have any thoughts on Vance Joseph? Do you like the guy? I mean, obviously, if he gets an opportunity for a head coach, you have to take it, right? You're looking for your family. Yeah. You're looking for all that stuff. What are your thoughts on Vance Joseph, and would you prefer a different defensive coordinator, Red Sea?
I hope he goes to Miami. I hope he takes the head coaching job, because you know what? I'm down to get back Fangio out here. I said, what? I'm like, you know what? He gets fired. He's the hottest defensive coordinator job on the market. We know Brian Flores is not getting a coordinator job. He's not getting a coaching job.
100%.
So, Vic Fangio coming here, working with Isaiah Simmons, Zaven Collins, and the other young linebackers we got. Sign me up for that. I think Vance Joseph is a little overrated in my opinion. Our run defense is ranked 11th, but we are trash against the run. So I don't know what to say about Vance. He'll go to Miami, play there coach for a couple of years, get fired, and maybe Vic will change our defense to a championship type defense.
I like it. All right, perfect.
I can agree with that.
If you guys didn't notice, I got my guy Sheriff Joe Bags. He's co-host with me on my NFC West Roundtable. So if you guys don't come or you haven't been there, I highly recommend it. It's really, really entertaining. But Sheriff Joe Bags, man, what's up, man? Obviously a huge game for the Cardinals and your Los Angeles Rams, man. How are you feeling? Obviously a lot of speculations, a lot of storylines coming on for this game. But, hey, how are you feeling? And how's Stafford?
Dude, okay, first and foremost, guys, I want to let everybody know I am here respectfully. I'm not here to trash anybody. I'm not here to come in and ruffle feathers, anything like that. No intended. I'm just here to have a good conversation. If y'all got Rams questions, you want to hear from the Rams perspective, please ask me. I will give you a real response. I'm not just here to talk trash or anything like that. Other than that, though, coming into this game, man, I'm feeling good. The Rams are 4-1 in the last 5. Our last loss there, of course, to the San Francisco 49ers last week. Very unfortunate, but we just don't really match up with them. They kind of bully us a little bit. So it is what it is. But, hey, we're happy to go into the playoffs, winning the division, feeling good right now, get a home game at SoFi. And honestly, love this matchup against the Arizona Cardinals, man. Feeling good, feeling confident. But of course, this is the postseason. Absolutely anything can happen in these games. The Philadelphia Eagles could take it all this year. So there's no guarantees at all anywhere across the board. Anything can happen. So I'm
Or
just
the
happy,
Steelers.
man. Stoked that the Rams.
Steelers!
No, don't say that. We don't want nightmares.
Oh yeah, the
Steelers got
Steelers,
the Super Bowl.
that still hurts me. Yeah, I agree with you, Joe, man. I think it's all up in the air right now. I think the obviously that the Eagles are coming in pretty hot right now with what they're doing, the difference that they're making. But does anybody have any questions for the Rams point of view? My guy Joe Bax is going to be the guy. Christopher, what you got?
How do you feel about Matthew Stafford throwing? I think it was like 8 interceptions in like a game or two.
Yeah, the turnovers have definitely become a concern as far as the Rams are concerned on that side of the football. Ball control is such a big part of it, especially once you get to the playoffs. Turnovers can tell the entire story. So that is absolutely a level of concern. But also, I think everybody's throwing Stafford under the bus of being 0-3 in the playoffs. But this is his first playoff game with McVay, with the LA Rams. So I feel like we need to let him at least play this game. If he comes in and loses this game, though, there's going to be a major backlash from the Rams fan base, and everybody's going to say he is not our guy. But myself, respectfully, I think it's more of a 5-year thing. We got to look at it from by the time he retires. Did he get a ring in that amount of time, whether that's next year, the year after, anything like that? But Stafford and those turnovers, it's definitely a concern going into this game, and Arizona's a team that can absolutely capitalize on that. So it's got to rein that in, man, and hopefully this is this game goes a lot more like our most recent game, not like week 4.
Yeah, that and the fact that it was in LA where we already beat the Rams. Actually, I don't know why I said beat the Cardinals.
Why do you think we beat ourselves?
I might have been thinking about the St. Louis Cardinals, but
Right.
those two things I just mentioned are the main reasons why I have confidence in this game, especially since the Detroit Lions are the only reason this team is not undefeated on the road right now.
Yeah, and that's, obviously, Rams fans would love to talk trash about that game, but we lost to the Jets last year, so not a lot of room.
Right. And let me ask you a question. Oh, go ahead, Mark Jackson. Go ahead.
Yeah, my question, Joe, is Stafford always seems to get really nervous during high-pressure games, and he throws a lot of picks at that point in time or drops the ball, does this, does whatever. What do you think? Am I off, or is that what I'm seeing?
I would say that you're on, but also off, if that makes any sense at all. So
Okay.
He does seem to have those games where the pressure gets to him. But also, if you look at week 3 this season, the week before we played the Arizona Cardinals for our first matchup, we played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and that was a known game where we were going to look at Stafford and say hey, if he doesn't do it in this game, can we really trust him as our guy? And he performed incredible in that game, had one of his best days of the season. So I think he's had those days where he has shown up big. And we can even look at just the second game against the Arizona Cardinals. That was a huge game. We had already lost to Arizona. Winning that game puts us in a very strong possibility of winning the division. And he came in, put up 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. I think he had 281. Or maybe that was 302. Maybe I'm getting those games mixed up, but put on a really strong day. And when that pressure is on him, you almost don't know what Stafford you're going to get with that pressure. Are you going to get that Stafford who is just on in week 3 against the Bucs or our second game against the Arizona Cardinals? Or are we going to get that Tennessee Titans Matthew Stafford where he's spinning around in the end zone throwing interceptions to straight to defenders like that, or throwing 2 picks to Anthony Barr, something like that. So it's hard to tell, but I feel good about Matthew Stafford entering this game, if that answers that question.
Thank you very much.
Go, Ross. What you got?
Injuries. How do you think it's going to affect the game from your side?
The Rams are ultimately pretty healthy coming into this one. Cam Akers, of course, coming off that Achilles, only 5 carries, 3 catches last year, so he's still getting his feet wet a little bit. But other than that, secondary is a weird position right now for the Rams. We lose Jordan Fuller, which is extremely unfortunate. Taylor Rapp did not practice again today. He's still in concussion protocol. We bring in Eric Weddle, and nobody knows what kind of impact he's going to have or what kind of role he's even going to have. But he is also an experienced guy, so I think that brings some good leadership to that group. But overall, this team's pretty healthy. I'm actually not 100% sure about your guys' health. I know that the running back position might have some question marks as far as health goes, but overall, I think that both teams are decently healthy, so we should get the better team winning this game.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question that's not really has to do with the game itself, but with what Matthew Stafford's wife is doing, because obviously last game, the San Francisco 49ers packed that house up. SoFi looked red, and I hear from a lot of Cardinal fans that they're trying to do their best to kind of make that happen again over there in SoFi. What are, like, in your thoughts as a fan? I mean, obviously you can't go to a lot of games. You don't live in, LA. And I'm pretty sure you would if you did. What are your thoughts? Do you care about any of that situation when it feels like they invaded a SoFi Stadium? Do you care about any of that stuff?
Well, yeah, I mean, it obviously sucks to see when you're at home and you're on a silent count and your opponent is not. That's always rough to see. But, with the situation specifically with the Rams, where they went obviously to St. Louis for a good chunk of time, 21 years, and then came back, there's a whole generation of people who are not Rams fans, and people were picking other teams, and those teams were the 49ers and the Cowboys and the Cardinals and the Raiders, stuff like that. So we are going to see, for probably a good chunk of time, opposing fans taking over our venue, especially when it's teams like the Niners or the Packers or the Cowboys, anything like that. Like, it's going to happen. It is what it is kind of how I feel about it. Kelly Stafford's comments where she was saying, don't sell your tickets to Cardinals fans. Like, it's real though, man. I mean, like that was a 49ers home game. It's frustrating to see, but it is real. And what we just need to see is going to be some years, some kids growing up going to Rams games every weekend and stuff like that. And it'll be 20 years before we have like our really strong fan base. But also, like, what I was out there for the Rams and Jaguars game, and that was absolutely a home field advantage. Like, it can happen. It's just some teams seem to just take that stadium over.
For sure. Awesome. Anybody else have any questions about Rams versus Cardinals before we keep moving into the Cardinal talk?
All right, then I just want to jump in on Cliff if I can.
Yeah, absolutely.
My opinions on Cliff. I would say that, and I commented this, and that's what prompted me to even get in here. I think that it really depends on your expectations. If you guys, as a fan base, are okay with just making the playoffs and not going all the way, then Cliff is absolutely your guy. He's good enough to do that. He's actually a good coach, and he can get you there. But let's also not pretend like he's not being carried by that roster. You guys have one of the strongest rosters in the NFL, most star-studded rosters in the NFL. And I think that this roster, no matter who the coach is, you are going to get to the playoffs. So I think my opinion on Cliff is it really does depend on your expectations. If you're cool with this, if you're cool with the Rams beating you and you guys can lean on, hey, we made the playoffs, we held first place for most of the season, then yeah, Cliff is absolutely the guy. If you ever want to take that next step, though, and be in the conversation for real Super Bowls, I don't think Cliff is that guy. And I think until you guys move on from him, I don't think that Super Bowl is a real expectation for the Cardinals.
All right. Perfect. Well, Joe, appreciate you always, man. I'll see you next Tuesday. Hopefully I'll be happy. I won't be crying. Appreciate you, man. Later, dude.
Good luck.
Later, Joe.
Wow. Okay. Thoughts, everybody. Do you think Cliff can get us into the Super Bowl? I mean, obviously we only seen a 3-year sample size, but what are your guys' thoughts on, can he make the Super Bowl run? Can he be that guy for us?
Good question.
Absolutely not.
I think this year is the only year that we could.
Yeah,
And that's it. But after that, I don't think he can actually. I don't think he could win it. I think he can get us there, but I don't think he can win it.
I've had my reservations about Cliff for years.
Right.
I actually liked us hiring him, to be honest, because of his background in offense, and he knew Kyler and all these type of things. But seeing the progression from year 1 to year 2 to year 3, everybody's gonna say, "Look what Cliff did." We got 3 more wins each year. But when you really look at it, this is not what he did. He didn't really do much. It was Keim bringing in more talent each year. From year 1 to year 2, our roster got way better, and then from year 2 to year 3, our roster got way better. So like Joe said, you can bring in Brian Flores right now. If you brought him in this year, we would have been a playoff team. You could bring in other coaches. This roster is stacked. So just seeing based on even what Christopher was saying about Cliff's record down the stretch, even since Texas Tech, his record at the end of the year, every year it's a bad record. So what are we hoping one year that it's just gonna, oh my God, the light turned on, and no, why didn't it turn on all these other 8 years? You know what I'm saying? So we're just gonna keep seeing the same repetitive thing over and over. Yeah, we made the playoffs now, but I don't know. I don't see it. You can see it like the end of games are microcosms of the season. Like in a clutch situation, he calls a stupid play or just little things that it's like it just doesn't look like a Super Bowl winning coach to me.
Okay.
I think he can do it with an offensive coordinator. I think,
Agreed. Yes.
If he's a coordinator, but if he had some other brain on offense, I think he could potentially do it. But he probably can't do it on his own. He needs help.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because if it comes down to the point where we keep getting close, but we can't take the next little inch, which is the Super Bowl, I see Steve Keim and Michael Bidwell to say, Cliff, you need an offensive coordinator. This is too much for you. I'm sorry, but either an offensive coordinator or we're going to go our separate ways. And if he says no, just let him go. I mean, it will suck because we wasted Kyler Murray's youth. Because I'm looking like maybe 4 years, maybe. Mm-hmm. He should have 2 years, and including this year. If he doesn't make it this year or next year, it's offensive coordinator or you're done. Because his seat should be warming up. Yes, it's gotten better every year, and we've taken a next step every year, but we need to win the playoffs, and we need to prove that we're not a joke. Because people are calling us a joke because we lost to the Lions. People are calling us a joke because we barely beat the Vikings. And people are saying that we suck because we couldn't even beat a Seattle Seahawks team that were saying, we're done. We don't care.
That's fair.
I feel just the leadership overall needs to improve big time. I've never been on board with Cliff Kingsbury at all, period. I feel like he was a bad choice, but right from the get-go. But I understand, as Cardinal fans, we all think, hey, well, we're slowly on the rise. Things are going great. But it's just I just don't feel like he's a great leader. The John Madden documentary back when they played during Christmas, someone brought up a good point saying that Madden, he was a bare bones, no F's given kind of guy, and he would not say go out of his way to punish the players per se, but if we all know as Cardinal fans, our biggest kryptonite is ourselves. We're consistently shooting ourselves in the foot with these ridiculous penalties. Madden, if I remember hearing that documentary correctly, he wouldn't he wouldn't punish them, but there would be some severe consequences for ridiculous penalties like what we're seeing here with the Cardinals. So I honestly feel leadership is something that we're lacking in, and unfortunately, I don't get me wrong. It's cool that Cliff has gotten us to where we're currently at now, but we need some stronger discipline for some of these players who are consistently doing holding calls. These ridiculous unnecessary calls that are consistently pushing us back. We need stronger leadership.
Remember, Alex, though, that this all happened since Texas Tech. That happened in Texas Tech. Everything else has happened in Texas Tech. I live in Texas Tech area, so I hear all about Cliff for 4 or 5 years before he even came over, and I didn't like the hire in the first place. So I understand, but that's what we got for this season. So
yeah.
We're gonna have to keep it for this season.
Right.
Zero accountability. That's basically what he was saying.
That's exactly
he
it.
He doesn't hold no one accountable. And a good example of this was, you remember last year, Drake Kirkpatrick sold the game against Seattle because he had some stupid penalty where he was like he smacked someone. And after the game, like Drake Kirkpatrick didn't get no type of reprimand. He didn't reprimand him. He didn't say nothing. In the post game, he just like, yeah, we can't do that. Like, reprimand this guy. You know what I mean? Like, you got to have some accountability. It's kind of like he just lets these players do whatever they want and then get away with it because he wants to be that player's coach. But it's like, no, we got to hold people accountable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for me, this team kind of resembles the Super Bowl run team a little. There's like little pieces that remind me of that Super Bowl run team. And Cliff, he could get us there, but he needs to not be a player coach. And then I know that's going to be hard for him. If he wants to bring somebody in that could help him discipline the offensive linemen and the offensive players and the defensive players? Are they getting stupid penalties? Like I believe DJ Humphries is the most offensive player to be flagged this season.
That's why I miss guys like Bruce Arians to tell us straight out. I mean, back then, if BA saw something like that, he would chew him out in the media.
Yeah,
now we got a coach. Yep. We lost to the Lions. I was waiting to see our coach get up there, pissed off, saying how embarrassed he was about the loss. He made it sound like we lost by like 3 points the way he was talking.
Yeah, we need more accountability.
Well, he needed to do a Denny Green, man. He really did need to do a Denny Green on that one.
You can tell that he's tired. That is too much for him. He needs help.
Mm-hmm.
They are who we thought they were.
Right.
Exactly.
Awesome. Now let's do this. JJ Watt, guys. JJ Watt's a big storyline. Obviously, as Cardinal fans right now, we are all hanging on to any hope. We're getting players back. We're seeming to be a lot healthier here. But explain to me, I mean, without being obvious here, but the difference JJ Watt can make on the field versus the Los Angeles Rams. Go ahead. Roundtable.
I mean, you could just see it based on the defense as a whole. Do you remember our defense from week 1 to week 7, from week 7 to now? I mean, that speaks for itself. The run defense is better. He was our best defensive player until he got hurt. You can look at he had 1 or 2 sacks or whatever, but that's not everything. He was getting immense amount of pressure. He was always getting in the backfield. And one thing that he does that we're missing is kind of like the Hopkins type of thing, where he takes pressure off other guys because he's so good that they need to figure a way to block him. So aside from he's going to bring juice to the team. He brings a lot if he's going to be able to play this game. I think he's going to play, but if he's able to play at 100% or at close to it, because the time he's came back in is a remarkable time. I don't know how he did it, but I think he's going to be a key, because if we can't stop their run game, that's it. They're just going to do whatever they want. So.
Mm-hmm. I think we could also look at, if we were to imagine now without JJ Watts, we play the Titans from week 1 with Derrick Henry and compare it to now. Like if we would play the Titans and they had a healthy Derrick Henry, he would run all over our team. Look at week 1. We were able to pin him down, keep him locked up for the most part, without maybe like a couple runs here. JJ Watt, I feel like adds a lot of help, especially in the run defense, whereas other guys may struggle or like do their best but not quite do the job, where they need someone who can specialize or like help on the run defense.
Yeah. Anybody else?
JJ Watt, he's a difference maker. When he's on the field, like 95% of the time, the attention is going to go to him. And that's why Chandler Jones popped off week 1, because they were trying to contain JJ, and they're not going to contain JJ and Chandler Jones 100%. They gave Chandler Jones basically a free market to come in and sack Ryan Tannehill. Was it 5 times?
Yeah,
5 times. And once JJ got hurt, and I'm like, I'm gonna go to a Packer Cardinal game, my first Cardinal game in the stadium, and I have a bad feeling. And look what happened. We lost because of our defense didn't really do that good in the fourth quarter, and a boneheaded mistake by AJ and Tyler. Then we slowly started to descend, and now that we have JJ back, maybe he can play 50% if he's not all the way healthy, and hopefully we can get Hopkins back, because Hopkins is a playmaker on offense.
Remember, JJ is going to be a leader.
JJ Watt is a one hell of a leader, and
he's going to be a leader, and he's going to get in people's faces if they don't do their job. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah,
very much the hype on that.
And I think JJ is helping Zach Allen become a better defensive pass rusher. I've seen Zach Allen do a lot better than he has somebody like JJ saying, you need to do this, you need to do that, and you need to do this. So JJ Watt, he should be our team MVP next to Rodney Hudson.
Nice.
Rodney Hudson,
yeah.
That's somebody we forgot to talk about.
Chris, anything to add?
Nothing. Just I'm mostly glad that the guy's coming back because it sounds like he definitely makes a difference for the team. Even though I haven't seen it in person because I can't watch games from here.
Yeah. All right, Red, see what you got.
Well, it's JJ Watt. That's why he's coming back. We know we have a feeling he's going to come back in the playoffs. That's who he is. But he makes a difference, the force in the running game. That's one thing. Like you guys said, he's the leader on our defense. He's the best player on our defense. The stats don't show it because he's not getting the sacks he used to. He's not having Defensive Player of the Year sacks or player of stats anymore. But he's getting to the quarterback. He's getting the rushes. He's getting the stops on the run. He's getting into people's faces when they to get their accountability. I mean, and he has, like you said, him and Zach Allen. He's made Zach Allen a way better player. He really has.
Yeah.
This guy was a third-round pick who hasn't looked like he hasn't done anything the first 2 years. This year he's the biggest part of our defense since he's been out, honestly, on the front seven. So we get him back. When we beat the Rams the first time, we had JJ Watt. When we blew the Rams out of the water. We get him back. Go to LA. This guy. We got a guy now that has playoff experience. We got a guy that knows what it takes to win in the playoffs. He never won a Super Bowl, but he knows what it takes. He knows the environment now that a lot of these young guys don't. So hopefully that will be a big part going in this week's game. Do we want Hopkins back? Yes, but will we get him back? I don't know. But if we can just get JJ back, get James Conner back, get these guys, get all these guys back, we can make a run.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be. We gotta be accountable.
Mm-hmm.
Like Cliff said.
Yep.
Like Cliff said, when we don't beat ourselves, we're unstoppable. So we can do that. I think we can beat the Rams Sunday or Monday.
No worries. This
Hoping.
Can I
have
pose a
confidence.
question to everybody? What does everybody think about our O-line for this game?
Is everyone healthy?
Ronnie Hudson.
No.
Well, to be fair, go ahead, my man. You first.
When I
No,
looked
no,
at the
go ahead,
injury report, the only people that on our offense were out were Connor and Ward. Everybody on the O-line was out practicing today, and Connor was practicing on the sidelines.
No, well,
So
pretty much
our
injury,
offense should be at 100.
as far as
Yeah.
injury goes, we're gonna be good. Only Hopkins and Alfred, I think, are gonna be out. Everybody else is gonna play. Chase
Yeah.
is gonna play. Connor's gonna. They're on the injury report, but they're gonna play.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about
Yep.
those guys. Like Simmons,
Yeah.
he had a personal reason. His family, Vance already addressed it. He's gonna be back in Arizona. There's something with his family, but he's gonna play too.
I think it was his
Yeah.
mom's birthday.
Something like that.
Alex,
Yeah.
what were you gonna say?
And do you remember that second game when we faced off against the Rams? Mike, you had even said in one of your videos, we were in that second game against the Rams without Rodney Hudson. That first game, we had everybody all hands on deck. And if anything, this hype of bringing Watt back and now having, Hudson back at center, my spirits are getting lifted. And I'm like, you know what? Y'all bring up some pretty solid points. And I remember going in prior to doing this roundtable, I was kind of like, I'm on the fence, but now y'all bring up some pretty solid points. I definitely like our chances.
Yeah. Well,
And
one
we
thing.
lost by 7 points, right?
I'm sorry. What's up?
Yeah.
Alex?
We lost by 7 points without Hudson and
Yeah.
Hopkins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one thing we know for sure, it's any given Monday, Thursday, or Sundays every single
Anybody can
time. We
win.
don't exactly know what's going to happen. Like you said, we just can't beat ourselves. I think that's the number one thing. If we have Connor, Chase, I think sky's the limit. And a lot of people are already sleeping on us, and that's completely fine. I think we thrive better when we are underdogs. We called ourselves the Road Warriors, and I know it's cheesy, but it seems to be what's happening with this Cardinal team. I don't get it. But ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you guys coming on. I want to do more of these roundtables. If you guys actually like doing this, I love having everybody talking together. Let me know in the comments. Smack that like button and everything. So I'm going to end it right here, but we will be doing another roundtable. I almost promise you guys. Make sure you check my community posts and stuff like that. Thank you guys for participating. Appreciate you guys as always. Later, guys.
Have a great day.
Later, guys. Bye.
Go Cards.
All right, let's get everybody off here
Indeed.
real quick. Appreciate everybody. Awesome. Guys, if you guys like this, all you need to do, and I want to get all the Red Sea people in here. I want to get, because since we're streaming everywhere, we're streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter now. If you're on Twitter and you're like, who the heck is this guy? My name is Mike. I run this YouTube channel, the AZ Sports Fan. I love to bring the Bird Gang on here to let you broadcast your feelings. If you're happy, if you're sad, if you're positive, if you're negative, I don't care. This is what the platform's here. Subscribe to me on the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. If you truly enjoyed this, smack that like button and subscribe. We will be doing more of the roundtables. Hopefully, when we do it again, we'll be positive because we won, beat the Rams. If not, then we can have a therapy session that way, guys. All right, peace out, everybody. Thank you as always. It's been a pleasure speaking to you guys, and happy Friday. And as always, go Cards.